and wasn't just blind from accident or off a chariot, but blind when he was born, he couldn't see. That's the way we live our lives this morning. Wondering, what did I do? What did they do? Why did it happen to me? Because who in my family caused this upon me? Do you not understand that sometimes, as God stated in his word, this man was born blind because God needed to use him and let him show others that the power of God is real. See, sometimes things happen in our lives that we don't understand. We don't understand why these things happen, why our children are born blind, why I had a Christian at 6 months, why I had Gabe at Christian at 6 months, and I had Gabe at 7 months, and I thank God for having Gabe at 7 months, but how much bigger could I have taken over another month? So I thank God. We don't know why things happen in our life. But what we must understand and what we should know by now is that things happen always for a reason. Reason. Because change needs to come sometimes in each and every one of our lives. That's what we fail to understand. These people didn't know that change was coming through this man's sight. Through his vision that change was coming, that faith was coming, that belief was coming, that just from that one man, the faith in God was coming. Because these people was weak. They didn't believe in nothing. All they believed in is if we didn't get in that river in time, the Kabar River, so that when the angels come down, the cherubims, and stick their wings in the water and flutter it around. You ever stuck your finger in the water and saw how it went? Well, this was spiritual power. And if the people got in there first, they would receive the healing from God. But when you're blind, you don't always know how to get to the water. When you're lame, you're not able to walk to the water. But faith in God and the power that he has in his hand, you don't have to get there. You can be here. And God can bless you and give you what you need from where you stand. Just like he did with that man when he took that dirt up. You should have the faith now in God to have seen the things and heard the things and envisioned the things that God has done and will do and has done for you, not to have the dirt rubbed across your eyes just to give you sight and understanding this morning. Your sight and understanding should come from the things that has happened in your life, things that God has brought you through, and the things that the disciples, the saints, the rabbis in this word of God have delivered us from. A lot of us have delivered us from ourselves. A lot of it. Because a lot of sin has taken place in our lives. Oh Lord, I told y'all so much about mine. I'm just a little thing that God shaking out every day and working his way in. That's what we're striving for. And that's why he did what he done. And that's why we're going to verse 10. How then were your eyes open? They demanded. You hear this? They demanded to know how his eyes is open, like it's their business. But they demanded to know this. He replied, the man they called Jesus made some mud and put it on my eyes. He told me to go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see. Where is this man? They asked him. I don't know, he said. This is where we are now. They don't know, he said. Now the pool of Siloam was built by King Hezekiah, and all of his workers constructed an underground tunnel from the spring just so that he can get outside the city. Now, the important thing about this is during these times of siege, While the Pharisees conducted investigations and debated about Jesus, people was being healed and lives were being changed. But the Pharisees, you know, like a lot of people, are always skeptical about your life and about their own life and about what God can do. They were very skeptical that Jesus actually was able to heal a man. And they were very, very jealous about it. Very jealous of Jesus. Very jealous of how popular he was. And very jealous of the influence he had on the people. So we have a lot of churches that are that way. We have a lot of ministers that way. We have a lot of deacons that are that way. We have a lot of deaconess that are that way. A lot of ushers that are that way. They want their usher choir, their usher board to be better than the next church usher board. See, and if the next churches seem to be better than yours, then you're jealous. Then you don't want to go to no more of their program. See, I'm going to put that to the side. I don't want to go over there because they think they're better than us. When in actuality is, you're just jealous of them and what they have and what they've obtained. See, we can't be jealous of the blessing that God gives others. That's his blessing. You should only ask God to open up your eyes so that you can see where you're blind, where you can see where you need to change your life. This man knew that Jesus made change in his life. He was able to work. He was able to support himself, support his family, because now he could get a job and he could see. He knew the benefit of what Jesus did for him was going to uplift and change his life. That's where we mess up. How many of us understand that when change comes in our life, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's for the benefit to uplift your life through Jesus Christ. He's only going to glorify and magnify you. And sometimes he has to show us things, teach us things, let us know where we need to change. He showed me all the time, Lisa, if you just leave your husband alone, if you just quit picking on him all the time.
Amen.
If you just don't worry about nothing so much, you'll do better. And then my husband would say, well, you just be quiet. Then you need to be good. And what am I going to do? Am I going to listen to what God already said it in his word? Then my husband backed it up. Instead of taking heed to it, I'm going to say, well, I think you need to change. You need to shut up. That's not going to uplift and help nothing. That's not going to open up the scales out of your eyes and see where you're wrong. That's going to keep you blind, and you're going to continue to lead yourself astray exactly where you're going to be if you don't continue to keep your mouth shut. Amen. Sometimes we don't understand the benefit in what God is trying to show us in his word. Some of us have been blind from birth because we were led by the blind. Didn't teach us a thing. Didn't learn a thing. Mom and daddy didn't teach us nothing. Aunt and uncle didn't teach us nothing. Neighbors didn't teach us nothing. Some of us were just led by the street, dog. Hoping that you go out there after any and everything except for God. And what do? Sometimes we do that. But those that know him, what do? We go back to find him. We go back and say, Lord, help me. Lord, lift me. This is what that man did. He was wondering. They all want to know where Jesus is. Not because they was necessarily wanting to heal. Because they wanted to get rid of this man. He making us look bad. We can't do this. This had nothing to do with a healing. This was all about the story. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. We don't like him. We heard about this Jesus. We heard of him healing the sick. We heard of him working on the Sabbath, the most holy day that he created. How in the world are you going to tell the Creator that he can't work on the creation? He did this. He allowed you to be able to do it too so that you can supply the needs of the house. Sometimes you got to work on the Sabbath. But those that don't have to should not do anything, even if they're not going to serve him until the Sunday, the first of the week. God said, make a choice. Make a choice, make a choice. Stand by that choice. Find a day to serve me, and let that day be solid foundation. And serve me on. He didn't say skip around serve me when you feel like it, because then you're not dedicated to him. You're not in order. God is a God of order. And order is making choices and standing by your choices, not making promises. Because if you don't stand by your promise, you're condemning yourself to hell. How many of you have promised so many things you ain't done and still wondering, are you condemned to hell? Because you don't have to wonder no more. All you got to do is, Lord, forgive me for the choices that I made that wasn't pleasing to you, for the promises that I made that I did not keep. Forgive me, Lord. Forgive me. And then don't make no more, because you didn't keep the ones you made.
Amen.
That's what we fail to do. We make these promises, these choices, these obligations, and then you can't do them. And then what? They can't trust in you. They can't put no trust in you, no faith in you, because you're not there for them. You're not there to even stand by them. Once again, the issues of healing on the Sabbath arise. Suddenly, Jesus healed on another day as well. Lord have mercy. Jesus is a Sabbath healing master, ain't he? Yes, just healing left and right on the Sabbath, trying to save souls so they're able to work on the next day and take care of their families. Ain't that terrible in him? But John chooses to record healings that dramatize the conflicts between Jesus and the Jews. See, John picked out certain points where Jesus healed, because the healing amounts that Jesus actually did couldn't fit in this. It couldn't fit in this room. The amount of healings that actually took place when Jesus walked this earth. He healed left and right. He healed a woman without even her even asking to be healed. When the crowd gathered around him, and this woman with an issue of blood reached out just to grab the hem of his garment. He said, "Who touched me?" Just a hem out of a crowd. I guess they was looking like, "Who touched you? We all touching you. We pushing up against you. We trying to receive you." But he wasn't talking about that. He listens to those that truly cry out for him. He listens to those and he feels those that truly have a desire for him. And when he felt that woman's just barely touching the hem, you know how small a hem is? She just barely touched it. And instantly, the issue of blood stopped to flow and she was healed. She gave thanks and she praised. Do you understand that God can take away all your woes, all your troubles, all your sorrows, but you got to allow him to do it. And guess when he's going to do it? On his time. Right. On his time. See, on his time, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, is always the best time. That's the time when it's successful. That's the time when it's all going to work out. But sometimes we rush ourselves out of situations. We rush ourselves out of things. We rush ourselves out of jobs. We rush ourselves out of the traffic. And then you have an accident. Rush yourself out of the job every day, then you don't have that job. Because you didn't want to be there. So he helped you out. God's a good God. You hate it that much, guess what? He'll relieve you of that job. Because there's somebody else that needed that much that he'll give that job to. This man needed sight. He needed sight at this particular time because it was a time where people was gathered, where people knew him, where people couldn't believe it was him, where people didn't trust it was him. And when they asked him what happened and how it happened and who did it, and he called out that name that they heard so much about, Jesus, they wanted him. Don't you understand that when you call out to Jesus, this world and all the demonic spirits in it is going to want you. They want you. They're calling on Jesus. We got to stop this. We got to go get them. Put a stop to it. This is how the world works. It keeps you blinded so that you cannot relieve yourself from all your problems. How many still blinded? You got to raise your hand. Because God knows you're blinded or not. These are some of Jesus' words. Verses 3, verses 3, 4, and 5, Jesus spoke himself. Things that Jesus said gives you confirmation that he's real. I must work the works of him that sent me. While it is day, the night cometh when no one can work. It's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to rise. It's going to come a time where all you're going to do is be laid down 6 feet into the dirt. That's the darkest hour. It's when you have no life within you. And it also come a time that you'll rise. The day that you close your eyes. The Holy Spirit that rushes into the gates of glory where you'll see the light. You don't have to worry about no more pain and suffering. But these are the options and the choices you got to make. Either to remain blind or to spread God's word, let him know who is your light and your salvation. This is what this man did. He wanted everybody to know who healed him. But how many of us shame to tell everybody, well, I went to church. We had people that were ashamed to say they came to church that Sunday. Like, why you can't tell nobody you came up here to church? What the world? We ain't got no pot in the middle with a kettle Roman making witchcraft. We got a Bible on the side and several wrapped around the room because that's part of the service that we demand around here so you can see his word. See, I hadn't even paid much attention to where the word was speaking on. Where the word was speaking on. Can't see well, y'all, because I ain't got my glasses up there with me. Where the word was speaking about the Sabbath. You know, I hadn't paid a lot of attention to that. Because God don't always need you to pay attention to that. Because he'll give it to you. He'll give you what he wants you to have. He'll deliver the word as he wants you to deliver it. Because it's for whoever it's for. It may not be for you today. It may not be for you. It could be for you. It's always for you, because it's always for me, Lord. Always something that I can learn, I can read on. I can see Sister Jackie.